I've always known I was attracted to guys. I didn't know as far as where I fell on the spectrum of that, but I've always known, but I also knew not to like tell anyone because you could see how adults, especially like your parents and your elders would react to when they heard about people being in the LGBT community. This is part of my identity. You know, I didn't announce that I was a male or that I was African American.
I remember I used to live across from a girl and we went to school together. So I basically had a crush on her.
The one thing I do remember is I work a lot with the LGBT Center in Raleigh too as well. And my brother is trans and he works there, he's in Raleigh. But so I remember we do open mic nights there where you can come in, you can do karaoke, you can sing, you can tell stories, poems, anything that goes with the theme of the night, like family, school, health, anything like that.
My boyfriend at the time, he was basically like a homophobe, so he broke up with me just because I liked a girl and people just started treating me differently.
This happened like the last summer. I went to halfway house, and you know, usually people are like making out and stuff in there, doing straight people stuff. And so me and the person I was with at that time, we were in the corner like making out and whatever, and then we get approached and asked to leave the club. Just because we were two girls, they were like, oh, you gotta go, you gotta stop that. And yeah, so I was kicked out of the club.
These guys, they drove by and they literally had eggs, like literal eggs, like from the 70s. And as I was left with my friends, like I heard a crack and I looked down my shoes and I saw a little gunk on it and I saw there was an egg. I looked up and they drove by. They literally tried to egg us just for walking out of the center. So they had no clue where sexuality was. They just assumed that LGBT all the way around. And I couldn't believe that.
My mom, I guess like she had like put everything out of proportion. I don't think it, you know, registered in her head. But with the rest of the family, I don't think they'll know. I think they'll know when they watch this video. But yeah, so everybody, mom, dad, I'm white. I'm bisexual. I like girls, I like guys.
A lot of times people feel that gay men are just like a one-size-fits-all.
I think as a female in my major, nobody really knew that I was gay or anything like that for a while, but even then, God, it probably took me about a year to get my classmates to just talk to me. I had like 2 people that would actually converse with me in classes, and we have these same classes together all the time.
Shopping with your best girlfriends and you're listening to Britney, Madonna, Lady Gaga, or you dress femininely, or you have a really high-pitched voice, which is obviously not my case.
Oh, but have you ever dated guys before? Or maybe you just haven't met the right guy. Or there was one guy who was like, you just haven't met the right one. I get that a lot, actually.
When I've met people and they've talked to me for the first time, they've said a lot, wow, I really wouldn't have panned you as gay until you told me that you were gay. And I said, well, what does that mean? Like, is there a specific criteria that qualifies me to appear gay?
One instance in class, we were like told to split up into like groups of girls and guys, and of course whenever I hear like split up into groups, I'm like the dread. It's like, you know, I don't feel like either of those things.
My family was always saying, like, if you don't like people using male pronouns, if you don't like people misgendering you, then why do you dress like a man? Like, do you want to be a man because you're wearing these kinds of clothes? Clothes are clothes, man. Like, we're gendering objects, you know what I'm saying?
What does being a man like mean, and what does being a woman, you know, mean? And for me, it doesn't mean anything. Like, I'm beyond that. Not like I'm, you know, better than anybody, but it's beyond that to me.
When people try to box me in with, you know, foul language and ill-formed opinions, I really just try to find my peace in the fact that I know and have worked hard to be who I am.
It's hard for me to, I guess, just set myself into these like categories or spaces that are ruled by one gender, I guess I should say.
This particular piece of legislation hits particularly close to home for me because I do have a lot of very good trans and non-binary friends who were devastated to hear this, who were so heartbroken that this state that they have given so much to has basically cast them aside.
The biggest part of it is, yes, it is very big on LGBT and trans. The fact that people have to go to the bathroom of their assigned sex on their birth certificate.
Just like imagine that you can't go to the bathroom because of how you look or because you don't feel like what your birth certificate says, and to be denied the basic right just because of like how they identify with themselves is crazy.
Sex and gender are two different things, and I think people are very confused on that. Sex is what you're born with by just what's in your pants, done. But when you get older, you can choose to represent yourself in whatever ways.
A good friend of mine, her former husband and his wife, they have a son who is 12 years old, but he has a severe form of autism, so his mental capacity makes him right about 3. And this law, under this law, if he is with his mother and has to use the restroom, she cannot bring him into the restroom with her.
It's really scary because it doesn't just affect LGBT. That's what I think a lot of people that are up in arms about it, you know, against us protesting, they don't understand it affects them too.
It irritates me a little bit because, you know, I feel like our legislature was so bent on their bigotry. They were so bent on trying to target one group of people because they were afraid, that they ended up creating a ripple effect that they didn't previously anticipate. And I think they're hurting people they don't know they're hurting now.
There's technically more senators that have been charged for bathroom issues like harassment and molestation and stuff than trans people. Trans people don't do that. They just want to go to the bathroom and get out like everybody else.
And I don't think that's fair. I think you're definitely right that it sends us back 40 to 50 years. These people that you're so quick to demonize, these people that you're so quick to fear, are 10 times as afraid of you as you are of them. They always will be. So if you want to show them that not everyone is a predator, that not everyone wants to hurt them, then go out and meet one. Make it real.